Welcome to another Rockford UFS deck upgrade series. This is kind of part two of last week's. We had Jesse Cervini on. Ricky's right here.
What's up, guys? Back again.
And then went over a few versions of it. We did a Death Scorpion upgrade from the Turbo. And then we kind of went over a couple other of his builds. I did not go that deep into Sub-Zero, but I kind of think the Order build may be his best build because he gets a lot of different attacks and stuff that works well with his support. The deck is on the cheap, so there's not a lot of expensive cards. There's no prepared fights. I think the most expensive attack is Hyper Bomb, and that's like $7 or $8. I went through every.
Wow, you actually making people spend money with
this time. Well, let me.
You said
I know
$7.
Hold on a second. Wait a minute. Okay, correction. I have it right here. Because I actually went through and went to Rochester CCG and Legendary Wolf and compared all the rares. So Hyper Bomb is actually a $6 card. Yeah. So it's not too bad. So it's within that $5 to $6.
The most $6, you have to get two of them.
Yeah.
All right. So here's my thing: is I did my upgrade.
Yeah.
You have two starter decks.
Oh yeah, I know.
At $10.
Oh, definitely, I know. The issue is you can plug and play, and there's some really good cards that I think Sub-Zero needs because he kind of lacks some things in his Turbo deck. We are playing some of his Turbo cards. What?
There's a lot of jank.
Yeah, I'll just go over some of the rares at first. Like Stop's a $6 card, which is actually really good in him because it commits a character. Something that you kind of need in this format. I kind of went with stuff that you kind of needed in the format, and I thought that a deck that I would want to upgrade. But we'll just go into it. We'll start off. I know Hyper Bomb, but Hyper Bomb's really good in him, and it's only a 2 of. But it creates this catch-22 that if they block, they lose a card. If they don't block, you gain a card. So it creates like a really neat ebb and flow of the game. So we'll just go into the attacks first. I grab, Sub-Zero, everyone knows what he does. He's Frosty Man. He does stuff, stun stuff, damage stuff, discard stuff. So if you don't know what Sub-Zero does, I'm sorry. But I picked 4 Icy Slide, mainly because this is the great end of turn. You're playing off a stun package, so it's the great end of turn kill card. If Frost Hammer doesn't kill somebody, you can just back up, drop this, and get 5 or 6 extra damage on it, or more. I went with a couple copies of Dust Crusher, because that's all around a great card. Magnet Slam is stupid in him, because they can't partial block, but they're still going to take 6, which is pretty sweet. It has a nice high block. Death Valley Faceplant may be the best attack outside of Hyper Bomb printed for him, because they're either going to eat 7 or take 4 discard and you commit something.
And you gain 2 health.
And you gain 2 vitality, which is pretty good. I always like... I'll go over the cards and I'll get your reactions to it. I always like playing 1 reversal. I subscribe to the Shane Duckworth. I like playing 1 reversal in a deck. Even though it's a 5 diff, I hate that it's a 5 diff, but you get pretty good value out of this. Tiger Uppercut, you're able to snipe a card by stunning, and then you put 2 damage on it, and they're dealing with a 2 low 7. And you kind of have to answer 7 damage nowadays, just because you can take a 7 damage attack, and then your next one maybe for your entire health bar. So you kind of answer on your turn at least. If they're reversing you, you have to deal with 7 damage. Unless you're killing the opponent, but that's different in theory.
Tiger Uppercut's one of those cards that it has a lot built into it. People brush it off still, but you go block reversal and you're all right, it's 7 damage with Sub-Zero. You can -3 damage to their next attack.
Yep.
And that's right there a lot of value.
Just think if you're facing Liu Kang or somebody who puts a card into your card pool, you can pitch a face down. So that's not horrible. I know it's a one-off matchup, but it's still something. You get something.
It's a one-off matchup, but it's going to be a popular matchup going into Nationals.
Oh yeah, definitely. Going on, Hyper Bomb. Can't say too much about this that hasn't been said. It's great value in Sub-Zero. You probably will never get the committal destruction, but it doesn't really matter because you're going to be throwing this for a lot of damage. You're probably drawing a card. Frost Hammer, everyone knows what that does. It's just a straight up kill card. So I went 19
No,
attacks.
no deep freeze.
No. I know it's a great lead-in. I watched Toy's video today, and he sold me on the deep freeze, but I didn't want to change this before the video. So he did his Sub-Zero like for the Alberta beatdown thing, and I agree with him. I think deep freeze should be in the deck, so I probably would swap out probably Tiger Uppercut and maybe a couple other things. But I think it's just I don't know. I think deep freeze is pretty awesome. It's kind of like a turn 3 type card. Like it's definitely because you can't seal 3 right away, like on turn 2, like you probably kind of want to. So it's more of like for like the end game string where you're just gonna just kill them. So it's still a great card. It's still 3 damage, 3 mid 7 stun 2 that you have to deal with. But yeah. Any thoughts on the attack lineup? Like anything you take out, change?
Let's see here. Let me do a quick little Winged Ultra up here because I only got a few seconds to look at your list
That's
before
fine. No, it's not a problem. I know. I kind of just dropped it on you.
I mean, let's see here. Like outside of deep freeze is the only one because you're gonna have deep freezes to put in this deck.
Yeah,
that's the one that really jumped out to me.
So let's make some additions on the fly. Let's take out Hyper Bomb.
Yeah, let's drop the price down a little bit.
Yeah, let's take out Hyper Bomb and let's drop a Magnet Slam.
And get some deep freezes.
We'll put some deep freezes in there. So let me get this as my current deck, and then we'll add some deep freeze. See, kids, we take care of you here. We're trying to help you out. So we're going to auto adjust this deck. We'll go 3 deep freeze. I've set so much stuff to side on accident so many times. Just because of the new... I love it. I love that we can do that. But it's just I set things to side where I really shouldn't. So, all right, cool. So let's stick with 2. Let's just stick with 2 and then go and add a 4th Death Valley faceplant. Just because we're gonna go, we bought 2. Let's say we bought 2 deep freeze it, 2 turbos. So we'll stick with that. So it is still 5, like a 5 difficulty heavy attack lineup. But I think Sub-Zero likes that long game plan, like a mid game, because you want to build up some momentum for deep freeze. Then, like now that we have deep freeze in it, and you kind of want to play with your opponent a bit, and like you can always just throw Death Valley faceplant, chunk them for 7, and then build, and then just depending on your matchup. So it's still very stun heavy, which is great. That's what he wants. He wants all stun attacks because then he gets to work. It's very sad if you put a non-stun attack in him. He gets very, very sad. So I would love to play him off of water and play Kersplat and then use that. Unfortunately, it's kind of hard. Like I guess you can do Chain Blade and play Chronicles. What's that card? The Eligor card?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Of the Grand Templar or something like that.
Yeah,
it's something like that. It gives it +1/+1 stun 1, so then but that seems like a lot of work. So, and it's a non-block, and you kind of want your attacks to all have blocks nowadays, just because blocking good block modifiers is such a premium.
Yeah.
So, all right, so moving on to some actions. Stop is according to both Legendary Wolf and Rochester CCG, it is a $6 card, so it's kind of a thing that it's kind of a luxury, but it's Blood Omen packs, so a lot of people will have a lot of the stuff that you could probably trade for, like Mortal Kombat stuff people probably trade for. It's a very premium block now. Yeah, it's -3. It's a +3 block modifier on a mid, but you play enough speed hate, I believe. We have enough speed hate in the deck to where we can just like flip a Fei or destroy face down with Destruction of Cyber Lin Kuei to give it -2 speed +2 damage to block. So it's and we have for Mother Russia and Living Pendulum, and we'll get all to that later. But I believe that Stop is a very accessible card nowadays for new players, and you'll never use the E on it. I guarantee that. And if you do, you have problems. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say that now. I love Showdown. I don't think it gets played enough. It could stop Revoke, stop anything that's on an action card. It just and if you block with it, you get to commit 2 cards in your opponent's staging area. So. I like it as a nice as a surprise. So Any thoughts on the actions that we may want to change to it?
I'm fine with those two particularly. I'm also really starting to become a fan of Jealous and Fake.
Yeah. Yeah, I had
That's
that.
one that's been my. I like it as a one of. It's just kind of it does a little bit of work. It's a nice option. It's like especially for people who don't have access to prepare to fight. Well, you know what?
Oh yeah.
Most of the time when you're blocked, Jealousy and Fake does something really cool with multiples. What does it do? Oh, I blocked a multiple with this. It's double its printed damage.
Yep.
No damage.
Does nothing and then burns your opponent for 2, and you get Breaker 1 on it, which is pretty good. I believe you can get those in Platinum, and those are pretty inexpensive, I believe. That's a really good option for if you don't have access to Prepared to Fights.
Yep.
Going to the foundations, we'll save the best for last, which are at the bottom, obviously. We'll go with the spam. So I got 2 Quests for Vengeance. It's a nice 0. It has a 4 check, but it has a nice.
Only 2?
Yeah, I found that I built the deck and it has a lot of low blocks in it, just because of the foundations that I picked. We're sitting at stats. We're sitting at 22 low blocks now.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, see, so. Because we got Quest for Vengeance, we have 4 Fei, 2 H's and Y's, just because it has anti foundation removal on it, and it has a nice low block. So I put that could probably be cut in the long run or sided. Let's see what else. We got Armor Expert at a 2 of Delta Blue. What else? We got Last of His Kind, which is just a dumb card in its own right. Yeah, and Resurrected Revenant. So we could probably cut Ageless and Wise, so we'll do that now. We'll just cut that. Because I think
Quest for Vengeance is just like a Punisher card in this format.
True.
You're just like, oh, I put you down a card on your turn, go to my turn, alright, try to block 2 attacks.
I'll split the difference and put 3 in. We'll go with that. We'll put 3 in. I just don't like the 4 check in it, but that our discard's pretty sweet, so we'll leave it at that. 4 Fei, can't really say much about that. 4 Extended Lifespan, I really like this card. It's kind of it's anti-flip, which kind of punishes spiders a bit, and then if it has R flip, if your opponent adds any number of cards to their hand during the combat phase, you can draw a card. So that's something that Order doesn't have a lot of, is just free draw. And that allows you to not stop draw, but at least keep pace with your opponent, which is nice.
I wish it was more like that. There was a card in Gabrick support in Red Horizon 2.
Oh,
it was your opponent does anything, like, oh, you did this effect. All right, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to blank something and draw a card.
I forget. Oh, I know what you're talking about.
The 2/5. Nobody really played it, and then everybody.
Yeah,
it was one of those cards.
That's how Corey beat Kevin, because of that card in Worlds that year, because of that card right there. 4 Destruction of Cyberlink Way. This card's awesome because you're flipping for Sub-Zero, and it just gives you a way to stay out of deadlock for 1, and it adds extra damage if your opponent doesn't have a hand. And it's speed reduction, so it's a neat way to do speed reduction. I went 2 Left to Die. It's for those who don't own any Neomax. This card people who owned Neomax, I should say.
Better shopaholic.
Yeah, it's a better shopaholic because it can ready itself. Yes, exactly. After attack is not blocked, you get to add one of your face downs. So it's any attack. So if you take an opponent's attack, you can add a face down for a block. You can, go ahead.
I watched somebody do the retreat to Antarctica.
Sure.
And then, I'm not going to block. All right, no damage. I'll left the die, pick up 2 cards.
Nice. Oh, that's cool. That
was sexy.
1 Chivalry and Honor. I think this card's pretty awesome. It allows you to stop your opponent from doing crazy stuff, like damage-wise, and then it also protects. Oh, it's your opponent's attack. So say your opponent's going in heavy, and you have like 6 health left, and they drop like a From Hell or something, or whatever. I don't know. They drop something, and you don't want to take more than what printed on. So it's pretty nice. It's a good one of. I love Armor Expert. I don't know how often the E's gonna fire nowadays, just because everyone's afraid to go to deadlock because nobody wants to go to deadlock because you die if you're in deadlock. But the R is really good. Again, so if you have left to die out and armor expert, you can potentially net more than one card after you're dealt damage from an unblocked attack. That probably could go to a one of just because the E isn't as relevant right now. But
I can see it as a one of, like, you're really saturated on the low blocks.
Yeah, so we'll go to a one of. Living Pendulum. If you play UFS and you don't know what Living Pendulum is, I'm sorry. It's one of the best one-ofs off those symbols in the format.
I locked Tim Keith out one time playing that on turn one.
What was
he was playing like Raptor.
Oh no!
I'm gonna get that. I'm just gonna +1/+1 every turn. And I'm like, no. And he had no other enablers.
That's so sad.
Man, I feel bad that worked.
That's horrible. Poor Timmy. This card's great. It actually, price-wise, is dirt cheap. Let's find out. Let's see. I got it right here. Did I not find that one? Living Pendulum. It's $1.20 on Rochester CCG.
Worth $2.20.
It's worth $1.20. Actually, buy 4 copies of it. It's worth the $4.80 plus shipping. This is kind of like a luxury card. It's a $6 rare on Legendary Wolf. Rochester's out of it right now, but it's Delta Blue Team Leader. It's just free damage across the board. You don't really need it. So I think we're going to take it out because Sub-Zero gets enough damage on his own. I don't think you really need Delta Blue. And again, it's saturated on low block, so we're going to make adjustments as we go. A nice spicy one-of for Mother Russia. For Mother Russia is $1.60 on Rochester CCG. It's worth you pick that up when you get your Living Pendulums.
When you punish somebody who checks an Artifice Avarice with this card.
Oh, dude, yes.
It's the best feeling ever.
Yes.
The first time I ever did that, I was like, that was fun.
That works for any non-character effect that adds cards. That's Avarice is the big one.
Yep.
We got 2 Blocky Boy because this card is just insane with Resurrected Revenant, and it's just really good in general. And then there's tons of. I'm pretty sure Takeda's going to be really hot coming up again. I mean, currently he's really good. So you want to be able to get rid of that top card of the discard. And Liu Kang has some stack effects too. So if you don't want him checking 6s or anything, you can just pitch it. At least once. Yeah, unfortunately it's only once per turn, but it still works.
Yep.
Again, taking form, we got 2 Toughest Bricks with some nice targeted committal if you take damage. So if you take damage and then you just go Armor Expert, left to die, you plus completely, which is really awesome. It's a good 2 of. I believe it was
like $2 or $3.
It's $2 on Legendary Wolf. I didn't find. You guys, Rochester was out. So if that's why I have Legendary Wolf on there. So if I had to jump between, it took me like an hour to parse everything out. Curious Magnetism, coupled with Fei Fei and Destruction to Cyberlinkway, you just minus speed and flip it, and we're looking at $2 on Rochester CCG. It's like I'm doing a commercial for Rochester CCG at the same time.
Exactly. Well, I'm wearing a Star City Game shirt.
Funky Tomato. That's a 2 of. It's a nice uncommon. Hits a lot of stuff in the format right now that increases damage. So say someone tries to lower your speed with Cyberlinkway, since that is plus damage, it shuts that off. It just shuts off some random stuff. Shuts off Faye, which is hilarious. Moving on, this card is going to be a 1 or a 2x in every one of its symbols. This card is just insane. Lose 2 Vitality for -4 damage. You don't have a lot of other outlets for damage reduction other than refusing to let go. So you could do that. You can do refusing to let go to set it to -2. I set it to minimum of 1, so you can probably do some neat tricks with it. You just can't do anything like what Spike can do, is where you lose 2 to make it 4, use his ability to make it 0. The cat made an appearance. Yes.
The other cat made an appearance.
This video is going to be hot.
This is Stuffy. This is the big guy.
That's the big. Oh gosh, look at that belly.
What up, big guy? All right, you go. Stop. Go. Go do something.
3 $500 sunglasses. This card's awesome. I only put 3 in because I died in a game where I had to block with it, and I was at 1. So yeah, it was pretty sad. But the enhances, it kind of couples with all his stun package where you just wanted to stun them out. Fun fact: this card's really dumb in Raiden or Raiden, whatever how you pronounce it. It's really dumb in Raiden. Yeah, it's really dumb in Raiden. Yeah, it's stupid.
Raiden's like one of those hidden characters of the set that I'm like, ooh, this could be interesting.
Yeah, he's gonna be really neat. Cryomancer's Descendant. We play 3 of it. The R part doesn't really matter. The top R doesn't matter. The bottom R matters more. Is R destroy after one of your foundations is flipped, unflip 2. Fun fact: if you get spidered, you can unflip 2 foundations because it's not due to your effect, or cost. It's just whenever it flips.
Yep.
We got 1 Retreated to Arctica because that's pretty much all you need. It's just 1. It's a unique 2/5 non-block. Says FU to missile launcher. You just got to time it right, so it sets it to 0. I wish it was an R still, but whatever. 1 Refusing to Let Go. This card is amazing. It's great. Again, another great card in Raiden because you get to use double usage. 2 Wanted Groceries. It thins out your deck, so if the game goes late, you don't draw a bunch of foundations. You can just keep attacking, and always readying. And a free golden ticket's really nice. Wait, where is it? Oh, that was it. Yeah, golden ticket. Yeah, basically it was golden ticket. It's golden ticket the foundation.
Yep.
One god to
pay the cost. It's all there.
One god of thunder because readying stuff's great, and then if you need 2 damage, you got it. And one of my favorite cards in the entire set is Resurrected Revenant. The stuff you can do with this card is bonkers. If you watch Toy's Raiden video, he goes into depth of all the plays you can do with this thing. With Raiden, but like with Sub-Zero, you don't do anything on your opponent's turn anyways, so you can steal your character to add cool and focus.
Pick up a blocky boy.
Yep.
Pick up a cool. Yeah, pick up a blocky boy. Pick up 500 sunglasses. Yep. That's a nice high throw you're throwing. That's a nice tombstone stunner.
You could also pick up Quest for Vengeance with it too, so you get some extra value out of that. So that's pretty good. Sideboard. I'll go over sideboard and then we'll get your thoughts on the foundations. I got 2 for Chivalry and Honor. Securing His Destiny is just dumb right now.
You need it in this format.
And Securing His Destiny is
like
64 cents on Rochester CCG right now. An extra cool and focused Bebop Blues, which I was surprised, honestly, the price of this card, how good this card is. It is $1.80 on Rochester CCG. It is just crazy. I thought that was like a $5 or $6 card, and I was very surprised. Maybe because it doesn't have a block, but But for what it doesn't need a block because you always want it in play because there's so many spammable abilities. And then 1 neat card from the Indine starter decks, from the Kadath one, Destinies Intertwined. It's a 3/4 +3 high, unique. R-commit after your opponent plays a responsibility, commit a foundation. So it's targeted committal. Everybody plays responses, and it's 25 cents on Legendary Wolf because Rochester CCG does not have it. They don't have a lot. Yeah, even if they do, it's more expensive. Yeah, I don't know why. It's crazy.
After your opponent plays a responsibility, commit one of their foundations.
Yeah, targeted because everybody plays responses, and if you don't, you're probably playing a bad deck. To quote Shane Duckworth, I should say.
Shane Duckworth will play any card from any set.
Oh, I know.
Because he wants to prove something.
He has no fear. He has no fear, and that's what it is.
Like, I'm gonna play this random Indians 2/4 no block unique.
Yeah,
it doesn't seem good, but I'll win a game with because you know what? Sometimes I've done those decks of his, and I'm like, it worked.
Yeah, like I have locals who play cover, and I've lost to a cover before because I didn't have another attack in hand. Yeah, it was not fun. I was just like, wow, that's brutal. So, your thoughts on the foundations? Oh, we have 1 Bebop Blues main board. I'm sorry, I think I skipped over that, but yeah, your thoughts on the foundations?
Foundation lineup seems pretty solid. I've actually been skimming through here on the order foundation lineup. The only thing looking at there's a couple of cards that I don't know, I like one Warrior Descent.
Oh yeah.
In order to like this build, it seems like it's just one of those cards I really enjoy.
Oh, the Johnny Cage card, yeah.
Yeah,
pull that up.
One of the Johnny Cage cards. Where is the other? What was that other card I've been testing? It was trying to find it here.
Yeah, that's a really good. Yeah, the only issue was I thought it would fight for space with the 3/4 with the what was it Resurrected Revenant, just because it's a 3/4 with a low block, and again I was saturated on lows, but I actually like this a lot. I think this should actually be in the deck, so I'll add one to it, and then we'll figure it out.
Sideboard ideas missing. Once again, he's not much of you're not much of a character on your opponent's turn, so committing your characters is a good play. Class of the Colossals for control.
Yep,
is a great choice. Invincible on your body if you hate reversals.
Yeah. Also has anti-stun on it as well. They have a lot of anti-stun stuff just available to them. It seems like as of the last, I'd say since Street Fighter on, Order has gotten like little pieces over each set just to start like build. Like they didn't like dump all of it into one set. They kind of just gradually released it a bit. So now Order has kind of like a cohesive defense in their foundations. If you want to play like uber defensive, which technically the deck is kind of very defensive because that's just the way I play sometimes. But I figured you can just grind it's like more of like a grindy deck. So like you would grind your opponent down with the throws and then you would just deep freeze them and then just, OTK them over a long string or whatever. Because you're just going to be able to commit stuff on their turn as well. Yeah, I think there's a couple other cards that in his kit, in our locals last night as of recording, Freezing the City and the one that says, Freezing the City seals are ready, and then there's another one that commits a sealed card.
Yeah.
That is like a crazy combo that I didn't, like, I was like, oh, okay, that works. But it actually, against me, it was like, wow, that's pretty powerful. It's like he has some cards that are pretty good, and then his attacks kind of make me sad, other than Deep Freeze and Frost Hammer and Icy Slide. But that's just me. But
I don't really like most of his attacks. Like it's like Icy Slide, Deep Freeze, Frost Hammer.
Yep.
Like are the big ones. The other ones are so like
I like
there's two that need to be played together to get any value. The one that's like, if it's not blocked, seal and commit their character.
Then he has like an Omni block too.
He has an Omni block that's on a 3/3 for 4 diff.
Yeah.
If the Omni block was a 3 diff, I would be more interested.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure they didn't want to give Order another 3 diff Omni block because they already have Leaf Shield, so, but whatever. I do like one of the cards you mentioned, Ice Burst, which is the one that works with Ice Clone, because it's a 4 mid-4 with a high block and stun 2 instead of opposed to stun 1. It has a +1 high, and then if you have momentum, you can seal a card. You seal a foundation. So it's not completely bad if you're not playing Ice Clone, because Ice Clone's just horrible, in my opinion. But Ice Burst isn't too bad. It's a really good, if you need a high block on an attack, it's worth playing in him, I believe. We're sitting at 64 cards.
That's not bad at all.
11 non-blocks, which isn't horrible. We're looking at 17 high, 17 mid, 19 lows because, got to block those Aaron Black decks for some random reason. So, and then, this is, I don't know, I think I may try this out. I haven't gotten to Sub-Zero yet because I have 3 or 4 guys who play Sub-Zero at the shop. So it's like, I don't want to just show up. Like last night we had 2 Sub-Zero decks because Ben came down from Madison and I'm just like, cool. And then I'll just play this Liu Kang deck. And I won because Liu Kang's broken. And
Liu Kang is pretty broken.
Yeah.
I mean, he's like the one that I worked on one that's right now that's a Liu Kang with all the answers.
Yeah.
Because I kept finding every time we had a great Liu Kang deck, and then we just kept finding these holes, and I'm like, I'll change out 4 cards to fill this problem. Or,
yeah, exactly.
And it's gonna be fun. Like Liu Kang's a real. I'm still on the fence of playing him in singles, but I might just have to try to be the less Liu Kang because I think Liu Kang's like going to be There's the guys who are gonna play the deck.
Yep.
And are just gonna like, all right, I got a week and a half, 2 weeks of time with it.
Yeah.
And then there's gonna be people who are like put all the time and effort in.
That's exactly what I've been doing. I've been playing him since release. So, and I love him. He's not fun to play against, but he is hilarious to play because when you're shoving 8 to 10 cards in your opponent's card pool a turn, it's fantastic. And then you just drop Nero Faticas on like -2s. Why not? Because
I'm testing some cool stuff.
Yeah.
I got like my death builds had like I'm playing a few like
non-combos?
Non-combo cards.
Ooh, you risky.
Cowboy battery, man.
Oh yeah, I know.
Battery.
I was thinking about that because then I also have Shield Ram in my deck, and it will combo off of that. And but like Shield Ram is decent on its own because it has a great high block, it stuns, and you can combo off of like a Fireball or whatever. And it doesn't always have to do the combo for me, but it's still valued because it has a great block on it.
Like there's the crazy water build where you just play reptile support.
Yep.
You're just like, all right, I'm mono mid except for Nero Faticas.
Yep.
And good luck because you're just gonna like I have a combo that's a 3-diff.
Mm-hmm. I also was taking a look at I heard a rumor about Balrog support with him. Just chucking punches, like actually chucking punches at him all day. Yeah.
Just go throw one of his punches, throw the second one that does add a card in also.
Yeah.
And then play Crazy Buffalo and kill him. You
just do 10 damage. You don't even you could do it off of water too and still play Nero, which is hilarious. So, which is
if you are playing Liu Kang and you're playing either Death or Water, you're not playing Nero Fatica as a 4X.
Yeah.
There's a problem.
Yeah, you're doing it.
That card reversaling people is so cheap and easy. You're just like, all right, you played 2 attacks. I'm gonna block with this. This is on a 4, so it's like, all right, this is -2, so it's not a 3. Checks on a 4. Oh, I blocked with a combo attack, so I'm gonna strip the attack that dealt damage and drag him a foundation I hate. And also add a base down. It's so ridiculous.
Yeah, what's awesome is when you do that combo with Nero and you have multiple fatal disagreements on board, you just like dump more into their card pool, and then it's just like, well, I don't think I'm blocking still because the R flip is whenever a card pool leaves their card pool, and Nero moves a card out of their card pool, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah.
It's pretty great. Yeah, I did that last night. I've reversaled somebody, and then I did the Nero combo, and then he goes, well, my turn's over. I'm like, but wait, there's more. And I flipped Fatal Disagreement. I was like, one more card, please. And then milled 4.
You know what's funny? I might have to put that back in. Like, I actually didn't know. You just told me a trick that I was like, oh, I tried Fatal Disagreement, and I was like, it's not really hitting me. And now I'm like, wait a minute.
You play it for the R, man. You play it for that R. And then what you do is I milled 4 and I had another Fatica come to my hand. So I'm just like, please come at me again. Yeah. It was a long drawn out game 1, but it was awesome. But yeah, like Sub-Zero, I think going back to topic, Sub-Zero I think is that's all right. No, it's fine. It's fine. It's what happens with all the Rockford UFS shows. We always drift on topic. I think that he's one of those. My personal opinion is, which doesn't matter for much, but I think he's one of those middle of the road decks that if someone who really puts the time in can make him shine. But I really think there's like X amount more characters who are better than him. Not to dissuade anybody. Please play Sub-Zero. Like he'll win. I think he'll win a PTC eventually. But I just think like Quan Chi, Jet, there's just way better characters that you could do similar things with. Like, if you want to stun people out, just play Jet. I guess.
Agreed.
Like
Jet's still scary.
Yes.
Like, Slam played a freaking Earth Jet deck here in Rochester, and it was just like, you just get model, you get double Nutcrackers, you get Missile Launcher, and some of his own support. You just play mono. You can play like a mono low deck.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's like, damn. Yeah. All right, mono lower if I'm dead.
Yeah, and then he just tacks damage on, like, it's just like nobody's business. But, yeah. Man, I don't know. Like, do you have another like Mortal Kombat character you'd like to show up on? Cause I'm trying. I have Barry
Let,
coming on next week with Cassie. So if you want to take a stab at another Mortal Kombat character, I'd love to have you on again.
I don't have. I don't have anything I'm willing to share
That's fine.
because I'm kind of it's in the like
not a problem.
I'll happily share my Liu Kang deck.
Yeah.
Like that because it's out. I haven't been like hiding it away.
Yeah. Yeah.
So let's.
Yeah. Well, I mean, like for a future show, because not right now, but future show, yeah. So if you wanted to build something a different character, that's fine. So
I have an idea. I actually have a character. There's actually something. Let's see what's in the. Who do we have? Let's look at Mortal Kombat characters. Let's look at the trash tier. What's trash tier? This one. I want to build Ermac. Ermac's awesome. Aaron Black. You know what? We haven't seen a lot of talk about this man. This Pearl man person. I'll build a Jackie Briggs deck.
Okay.
I'll come back in a few weeks. I think I could. I'm gonna give you two versions. We'll give you the budget build.
Okay.
That does not need her ultra rare, and then we're gonna give you the build that needs her ultra.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I'd like that because I want to start a video series of all the different Mortal Kombat characters, but pulling people from the community. Because like I have Barry coming on, I'll probably tap Kevin for something if he has time, and you know, and then I'm gonna hit one of the UK guys up because I know they've been. I mean, we
got back-to-back weekends of big events.
Yeah.
Like that. So
this will come out tomorrow. So this weekend will be the PTC. The week after is UK Nats.
UK Nats, that is right.
Yeah. So we're gonna have new cardboard. Maybe a UK player. But I don't think so. It's either gonna be Kevin. I'm going for Kevin or Tim. I want Tim because he's on my team for Nats.
I want Kevin to win. Because I know he's playing for singles.
Yeah.
And it's a character on my list.
Yeah.
So I want Kevin to win because that could be a big value play for me.
Sure.
What I want to see. I want Thomas Gordon to make top cuts. That's what I want to see happen. Just Thomas Gordon just dunking people with some crazy some fun deck.
Yeah, I can see that. That'd be awesome. So, all right. So we'll close the episode out. Again, thank you, sir. For coming on and spouting some knowledge to the good people. And again, we'll see you in a couple weeks for the Mortal Kombat deck build, whatever. I'll come up with some crazy name or whatever. So thanks again, and everyone else, have a good night.